Google finally dropped Gemini 3. The hype was loud, the stakes were higher, and the first wave of benchmarks and hands-on impressions say this is a real step up. It ships across search in the Gemini app on day one, brings a new agentic coding platform called Antigravity, and posts strong scores in reasoning, multimodality, and coding. But before we dig in, did you know that 40% of you listening aren't following us? Come on, mates, hit that follow button and collect our episodes on pods.media. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have been just inundated with the launch news.
It's been everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the mission for this deep dive is to try and extract the signal from all that noise. We need to look past the launch day fireworks and really understand the three key pillars of this release. So that's the core model, the distribution, and I think most critically, the new agent tools, specifically anti-gravity.
And what's so fascinating to me here is that this launch, it leans so hard into practical agent workflows, into actual execution.
It's not just a demo. Not at all. In the past, you'd get a new model announcement, and then maybe months later, the tools would finally catch up.
Yeah, you'd have to wait.
This time, they didn't just announce the model. They delivered it immediately across multiple surfaces with the new tools. This whole thing is a story about operationalizing AI at scale.
Let's focus on that scale and speed first, because that was the immediate headline. The velocity.
Oh, absolutely.
Gemini 3 was unveiled, and then it was just live, simultaneously, across the consumer Gemini app, the AI search mode.
And for developers, too.
Yeah.
AI Studio and Vertex, it was immediate.
Total immediate availability. The claim was basically, we ship at Google scale, and we do it on day one.
And that speed, that integration speed, that's the strategic differentiator here. But let's spend a minute on what exactly they shipped.
Okay. Under the hood?
Right. So under the hood, the claims all center on stronger foundational performance, specific lean in reasoning and multimodality.
So it's just a smarter core engine.
Demonstrably smarter, yeah. We're seeing early reports that Gemini 3 Pro is topping or at least matching other leading models on a really broad set of evaluations for reasoning and for coding.
And they talked about how that engine works under pressure, too. They introduced this thing called deep think mode.
Yeah, deep think.
It sounds a bit like marketing, but the way they described it was actually pretty compelling.
It's definitely more than just a snappy name. Deep think mode is designed very specifically for tackling those really complex multi-step problems.
The kind of thing where a model usually gives up halfway through?
Exactly. The kind of task where it might fail, say, 80% of the way in.
Yeah.
The idea is that it enables these extended internal simulations, sort of recursive reasoning loops.
So it's not just a faster first thought.
Not at all. Think of it more like the model is allowed to just sit there and, stew on a problem for longer. It burns more compute, more tokens for sure.
But the result is better.
A much higher quality, verified final answer. And that depth is vital for the kind of multi-step tasks that true agents need to perform.
That makes a lot of sense. You're optimizing for quality over speed in those specific, tricky scenarios. But, and this is the necessary context for you, the listener, benchmarks.
Ah, yes, the benchmark.
Official benchmarks should always be treated as signaling. They just tell you which direction the capability is moving, the real value, what's going to make a difference for your team. That comes from running your own evaluations.
You have to test it on your own data.
Against your own latency requirements. Don't just migrate because of a leaderboard score. See it as a signal that the tech is advanced, and then do your homework.
That's the essential caveat. But if the performance improvements are the engine, then, well, the new agentic platform, Antigravity, is the vehicle they want everyone to start driving.
Okay, let's pivot to Antigravity, because this is where the conversation really shifts from just model capability to developer enablement. What is this fundamentally? It sounds like much more than a smarter IDE.
It is so much more. It's really the centerpiece of the whole developer story here. It's positioning itself as a truly agent-first coding environment.
Agent-first. What does that mean in practice?
It means it's moving beyond passive suggestion to active, verifiable action. Antigravity lets multiple AI agents not just propose code, but to actually plan it, write it, test it, and then verify it across the whole lifecycle.
So the big leap here seems to be the agent's operational freedom. Before this, agents were sort of trapped in a chat window, right?
Trapped is a great word for it. They'd give you some Python code, and then it was on you. You had to copy it, paste it, run it, debug it.
All manually, in your own terminal.
Exactly. The key difference here is orchestration and, well, control. In Antigravity, these agents are not siloed in a text box. They get direct, authorized access to the editor to the terminal, and even to the browser.
Wow. Look at
So they can observe what's happening, they can execute complex actions like running tests or fetching documentation, and then, this is the crucial part, they can iteratively self-correct based on the output.
So it's moving agents from being, I don't know, demoware that gives you ideas.
To a functional work surface.
Yes.
A place where multi-step development tasks can be automated from end to end.
And this capability, it directly addresses one of the biggest nightmares in actually deploying agent systems. The trust issue, the transparency.
Absolutely. Transparency is everything. And this is where they introduce what they're calling artifacts.
Artifacts. Tell me about those.
So when an agent completes a task, let's say it's fixing a book, produces these artifacts, and they document exactly what happened. It's not just a summary.
So it's like a log file.
It's way more than that. It includes the initial plan, the sequence of every step it took, the specific terminal outputs, all the code diffs, and the final verification status. It's the auditability you absolutely have to have if you're going to trust an AI with system access.
Okay, so if, and it's a big if anti-gravity proves stable in production, this represents a massive leap in developer productivity.
It could be.
We've all heard the term 10x engineer thrown around, but this feels different. This is a tool designed to increase the output velocity of an entire team by shifting the mundane work away.
It targets what a lot of developers call glue work.
That low-value, high-effort stuff, explain what that looks like. Why is glue work such a pain point?
Well, glue work is all the tedious administrative overhead. It's setting up development environments, writing repetitive config files, running basic QA tests after a tiny change.
Translating a feature request into a bunch of tickets.
That's a perfect example. Or just verifying that a small code change didn't break 5 other dependencies. It's necessary work, but it drains human hours.
Hours that should be spent on the hard problems, on architecture.
Precisely. If anti-gravity can reliably handle just, say, 20% of that glue work, it fundamentally changes the staffing math and the delivery speed for software organizations.
And that value proposition gets amplified by the scale we mentioned earlier. Let's revisit that same-day distribution, but through the lens of market leverage.
Good idea.
A model upgrade, that happens all the time. But integrating Gemini 3 immediately into search and the consumer Gemini app, that's the real lever here.
It's the multiplier effect, applied to competence. We're talking about hundreds of millions of consumers on those surfaces and millions of developers on AI Studio and Vertex.
Right.
So even a slight capability gain, let's say Gemini 3, is 15% better at summarizing a complex document or 10% faster at helping a junior engineer debug. That translates into billions of interactions that are now tangibly better. They are leveraging their huge installed base to get value from the model improvement immediately.
The timing also plays directly into the current market narrative, doesn't it? There's been all this persistent talk about an AI plateau.
Oh yeah, the bubble nerves?
Bubble nerves, exactly. The idea that capability gains are slowing down.
And that anxiety is real. People are looking for proof of sustained progress.
So you introduce a strong, verified capability bump in reasoning. You couple it immediately with a new class of practical shipped tools like anti-gravity, and you strongly nudge that story back toward execution.
Back towards sustained progress. They're demonstrating this isn't just about flashy demos anymore. It's about building real revenue-generating infrastructure.
And that must have required some serious internal coordination.
Impressive coordination. It wasn't piecemeal. You have Google DeepMind on the model, Google Cloud on the developer stack, and then this dedicated anti-gravity team shipping the agent-first IDE. It's a unified push.
Okay, let's inject the critical analysis here. Knowledge requires understanding the risks.
Yeah.
So we have to be eyes wide open about the hurdles ahead.
Absolutely. There are definitely hurdles. The first one, as always, is benchmarks versus reality. We touched on this, but it bears repeating.
High scores don't equal production value.
They don't. That value lives in very practical things. Latency, stability, and for these agent workflows, long context reliability is critical.
Explain that.
Well, an agent that runs for 2 minutes to answer a query needs one kind of stability. But an anti-gravity agent that's running for 2 hours to refactor an entire library, that needs near-perfect stability.
You have to run your own deep evaluations on this stuff before you even think about a big migration.
You must. And this brings us to the most critical issue, especially for anti-gravity: agent safety and observability. This is the big one.
Giving an AI agent access to the editor, the browser, and the terminal, it sounds amazing, but it also sounds a little terrifying.
Should sound terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you are effectively giving the model the ability to compute, to act. If an agent misinterprets a goal or hallucinates a command, it can execute that flawed command against your systems.
It moves from just suggesting bad code to actually running it.
Exactly. It moves from passive suggestion to active operation. This demands incredibly robust guardrails. Now, the artifacts in Antigravity are an excellent first step for transparency.
But they're not enough on their own.
Not enough. Teams will need strict policies, rigorous real-time monitoring, and some serious internal governance to manage that level of autonomous access.
It's a totally new governance challenge. You're not just verifying the final code, you're verifying the entire chain of decisions it made to get there.
Precisely. And the third hurdle to think about is platform lock-in risk.
Ah, the classic trade-off.
It is. As more and more value shifts into these Google-managed surfaces like Antigravity, you absolutely need a strategy for portability. The advice here is just to plan proactively.
Don't get stuck.
Don't get stuck. Plan for second sourcing, especially for critical workflows. Consider multi-model designs where it makes sense. The goal is to make sure you aren't completely locked into one framework for agent orchestration.
So looking forward, what does this immediate rollout forecast for the industry? What's next?
I think we should expect a near-term wave of agentic workflows extending well beyond just coding.
Okay.
If Antigravity proves this model works, this multi-agent, executable, auditable model, we'll see it deployed really fast to other areas. Things like automated QA, growth operations, personalized research, internal tooling.
So anti-gravity becomes the blueprint for how a professional agent should operate in a closed system.
It becomes the reference implementation.
Exactly.
And the consumer reach through search and the Gemini app, that applies immense competitive pressure.
The rivals have to respond.
They have to respond, and fast, especially in areas like computer use skills and multi-agent orchestration for enterprise customers. The race to deliver executable, trustworthy agents just got a huge shot in the arm.
Okay, so let's drive home the synthesis, the big takeaway. This is more than just another model bump.
So much more. The core story is that triple combo. They shipped the smarter model, yes, but they also shipped the massive, immediate distribution network.
Consumer and enterprise.
And a credible, auditable agent surface, all at the same time. That simultaneous alignment, that's the real strategic innovation here.
And the practical application, where the rubber meets the road, is that if anti-gravity delivers, developer teams will just quietly start shifting hours of that tedious glue work over to agents.
The setup, the configuration, the small verification.
And that quiet shift, that offloading of low-value, high-effort tasks, that is the mechanism for persistent, sticky adoption. It's just raw efficiency.
The true innovation here is less about the raw speed of the model and more about the fundamental shift. It's a shift from agents as, theoretical concepts to agents as practical, auditable collaborators, operating within a scaled, integrated ecosystem.
That shift in capability and access is what you should be focused on.
Absolutely.
Which leaves us with this provocative thought for you to take away. If anti-gravity really does accelerate software delivery by shifting all that glue work away from human developers, what new, high-value, problem-solving roles will emerge next? What does your work surface look like in 6 months? Something to think about.